Today I'm going to be breaking down how you can avoid FOMOing into huge moves that happen and try to catch the reversal on the way back to the top or the bottom. These happen so often in the market and so many traders get caught out trying to buy into the highs or the lows. But this system will show you how you can use pullbacks and reversals to try and retest those highs and get involved in those big volume moves. All right, so let's say you come to the charts and you start seeing price has made a huge push up like this, right? It may look like a few more ups and downs like this, okay? But point is, there's this huge move up, all right? And you're thinking, oh no, I missed this perfect trade opportunity. Maybe it's like a huge 100 pip move and you didn't catch any of it. Now, a lot of us, including me in the past, will get FOMO. We'll get scared that we're going to miss this huge opportunity in the market. And what do? We try and buy in the highs. Okay, we try get in because we're scared of missing out. Okay, you enter, maybe price pushes up, you get all excited, you're going to think you're going to get 50 pips, and all of a sudden price does this. It sucks, right? And today I'm going to be showing you how you can avoid that. So when we're buying into the highs, essentially what we're doing is we're trying to catch the end of a move, right? And we don't know when that move is going to end. It could end in 2 pips, in 5 pips, in 10 pips. It could continue to 30 pips, 50 pips before pulling back. Okay, but the point is the market always or very often will pull back before it continues. Okay, and instead of trying to buy at these levels here, try and buy at these highs, okay, which is a low probability of price continuing up because we don't know how far this move is going to push up. Okay, instead what we want to do is be patient and wait for price to create this pullback. Okay, and what we want to do is to try and catch the reversal of this intraday move to catch trades back up to retest these levels. Okay, so you can still get involved in these really high volume big pushes, but you just have to be patient and wait for price to create this pullback and sometimes create structure before you can re-enter and catch that big move without ruining your account. Okay, so last week we looked at, if you guys are familiar with this is the free document I made, which is available in my Discord, which has a link in the description, absolutely free. Last week we looked at breakouts, okay, simple breakouts. That video you can find on my channel. And today we're going to be looking at support and resistance, this setup here where we try catch this move back to the top, and also this reversal setup. Okay, it's the exact same except this time we have structure and we're trying to catch this move back up. Okay, some key things to look at here is it has to be aligned with the higher time frame bias and levels, and I'm going to show you how you can use that in this video today. Also, the range must be clean, meaning that this range here where we're pushing down into has to be clean. Okay, this range here where we're pushing into has to be clean. Okay, and the last thing is we target the previous highs or lows. Okay, so we're targeting this level down here and we're targeting this level up here. Same with these, targeting this level down here and this level up here. Okay, yeah, also great opportunity for runners. If we see price close below this level or close above this level, that's a chance for you to try and catch that big continuation moves. Often these provide really good runners, and it also has a really good win rate as long as you can align it with the higher time frame bias. Okay, so if we think about this move from a price action and candlestick perspective, if we're reading candles backwards, right? So let's say the 15-minute has this huge push up, not many pullbacks, and it just looks like this. Okay, this huge push up. Okay, and on these pullbacks, price didn't give you good entry opportunities to enter at the break of these highs. Okay, maybe price closed all the way up here and your stops are too big. Maybe price didn't close above and then just jumped straight away, or maybe the pullback wasn't big enough, whatever. Okay, let's say you didn't get the breakout opportunity on these little pullbacks, so you have to try and wait. Okay, you have to wait for the pullback. Okay, if we then think about the higher time frames, right? This candle, let's say this is the 15-minute. If we think about the 4-hour and the 1-hour, okay, the 4-hour is going to look like a big bullish candle up. Okay, it's going to look like this, simple as that. It's going to be big bullish candle up consisting of all of these 15-minute candles. Okay, same thing on the way down, except obviously it'll be bearish, right? Maybe we have some wicks like this to show the highs and the lows, and that is essentially what we're going to be working with coming into your session. Okay, so let's say this move happened before your session, or maybe during your session, and you come to the charts, the next session is going to look like this. Okay, this is what you have to work with, this 4-hour candle. Okay, if we think about a pullback, right, and let's imagine that there was some resistance right here. Okay, so previous 4-hour closed bearish right here. Okay, and we created some resistance, right? So this is just to show you how simple this system is and how all of these setups really connect and align with each other. Okay, so what is this going to look like if we create a pullback? Okay, let's say we create this big pullback and we start ranging down here. Okay, what is this going to look like on the 4-hour candle is we're going to open up, we're going to create this huge bottom wick. Okay, and we're going to be down here, right? Because for reading candles backwards, we're going to have this massive bottom wick on the 4-hour candle. Okay, and essentially all we're trying to do is, if we look at this breakout, we have a breakout, we have support, resistance. Let's use this bullish example. We have resistance, we have a breakout. What do we have here on the 4-hour? Resistance, breakout, bottom wick. Okay, so all we're catching is this move to flip and continue bullish. Okay, and then the 4-hour candle will look like this. Okay, maybe it's not that big of a bottom wick. Maybe it looks something more like this. Okay, and essentially we're still just catching the breakout. Okay, we're not trying to do anything different. We're just using our knowledge of how higher time frame levels and how we can identify these pullbacks. Okay, so what this is going to look like on the 15-minute is simply something like this. Okay, it could just be a straight pullback where price just goes like this and then shoots up. Okay, and all we're doing is catching the higher time frame breakout. Okay, and if you can imagine on the 1 hour, what this is going to look like is simply a breakout, pullback, retest, continuation. Okay, so break and retest. Okay, so there's going to be two scenarios that are going to give us opportunities to take these trades, right? First one, let's go back to our example. Let's say there was some resistance right here. Then you had the big push, right? And then price comes back and it starts forming resistance here by closing bullish, right? Closes bullish. Okay, so we have resistance right here. These are all clean candles. Okay, and then you have a nice bullish close over here, which can look something like this. Okay, so these candles are all bearish. Let me just make this red. So all red, all bearish. Okay, and then you find, you find resistance by, you find support by closing bullish. Okay, now all we're doing is taking this break and retest. Okay, we have support that's been formed. Okay, the high time frame aligns because we have the 4-hour pushing bullish, and we can expect price to continue bullish and push up through these levels here. Okay, we can have our stops below there and we can look to target the top of the range. Okay, so we're not getting involved in this huge push because maybe it wasn't during our session or we didn't get the right breakout opportunities. We can always wait for the pullback or the continuation. Okay, and very often price will come back, retest those highs. Okay, and very good opportunity, like I mentioned, if price closes above this previous resistance, very good chance price will potentially create a, let's just make this wick here, price will create a retest back down into this level before flipping and continuing bullish. Okay, if you get the closure above, and this is where you can take runners, right? This is where you can take your runners. Okay, the next scenario is, let's say similar move. Okay, price has this big push up, we start coming down and we start forming a new range. Okay, so let's say we have resistance right here, price comes down, creates support and creates resistance. Okay, so we have a bullish close, then we fail to break, we create a bearish close, we create support, we create resistance, and what do we want to look for? We simply want to wait for a candle to break out above this level. Okay, and what are we doing here? Simply we're catching the breakout. Okay, it's the exact same, except now we're catching it on the pullback and the continuation to the top. Okay, so all these sort of setups, they're all based on this breakout. Okay, all based on breakout. This is a high time frame breakout and we're catching the bottom wick and the flip. Okay, all of them are based on the breakout. Okay, we're still catching a breakout here and we can look to catch this to the top, just like that. Okay, so let's look at our first example here. We're on the 4-hour time frame. First of all, what we can see is we have this nice break above this previous resistance. Okay, we can see we have that pullback there on that bottom wick, and then we continue and flip. Okay, and this is during London session. Okay, if we then go down to the 15-minute time frame, right? So we had this big push up during London session. Okay, and right now you're thinking, damn, I missed a 30 pip move. Okay, it's not the biggest, but it's definitely a good move. Okay, and what are you going to do? You're not going to try and buy into these highs, right? Because we're in a push phase right now. And what do we know about markets is they very often come down and create a pullback before continuing bullish again. Okay, it's like the market needs to breathe before we continue bullish. Okay, so we wait, price continues up, and a lot of traders are going to try buy in here and they're going to get wrecked. Okay, Okay, so you're waiting for that pullback. Keep in mind you have some previous resistance right here that is now turned into support, and we wait for that bullish close. We wait for the support to be formed, and what do we see? Very nice bullish close. Okay, we even perfectly respected this previous level. If we look, we have clean range to the left, almost 10 pips. Okay, so it's not a huge example, but it is definitely a good example, and we can enter on the break of the high, stops below previous candle, and we can look to target this previous level up here. Okay, so let's play it forward. Nice push. Okay, so at this stage you can start seeing, okay, price has pushed to this level. Okay, we've pushed to this level. We've got exactly what we wanted. Okay, we expected price to push and fill these highs. Okay, holding right here is a very dangerous game. Okay, very greedy to try and hold this because you've gotten exactly what you wanted, right? You've gotten price to push up to these levels. Sure, it's 2 or 3 pips away. Okay, but holding onto this is a very dangerous game because there's a good chance price will come down and retest before even continuing up, and you'll get stopped out at break even. But at the least, you have to go break even here. Okay, you have to go break even here. Okay, so let's say we close 70% of our position. The reason we close 70% is because we saw before we had that 4-hour breakout. I'm not going to switch now because that'll obviously show the current 4-hour candle and it'll show what happened. But let's say you reached your target, you close 70%. Okay, and you start thinking, okay, there's a good chance if we can survive this at break even, there's a good chance price will continue up to break these highs. Okay, and there you go. Okay, so price closes above, and here you can just take the breakout. Okay, you can just take the breakout. Okay, but there we can see price gives us a nice continuation. Okay, pulls back before, and there you go. Okay, so again, the exact same thing happened here. We had the push, pullback, support formed, continuation. Okay, so that is a really good example, and then you sort of get that big move. Okay, you're not trying to buy into these highs, you're trying to wait for the pullback. Okay, here's another big move. A lot of traders will try and buy in. All you got to do is wait for the pullback. Let's see if we get a pullback here. Okay, so this one is just giving breakouts, right? So just giving breakouts. You don't need to try and get in here. There it happened again. Okay, price creates support. You even have a nice little, you can try to take the buys up. This is a very small range you're trading into, but it does make sense, right? Very small range. Probably wouldn't take that 5 pips, okay? But you get the point, right? Simply, we're waiting for that pullback. We're waiting for support to form. We're aligning it with the higher time frame level. So if we look at the 4-hour, like I mentioned in that example, we had this big push up, okay? Price closed bullish. We're trying to catch this bottom wick and flip and continuation, okay? We're not trying to buy into the highs. We're trying to catch this bottom wick, the flip, and the continuation. You have to have higher time frame analysis, otherwise you'll get wrecked, okay? Otherwise, you'll enter, and all price is going to do, let's say you didn't have higher time frame analysis, like the 4-hour closed bearish, okay? What's going to happen? It's going to do this, maybe push up a little, and then just continue down, okay? And it's going to create that reversal structure, okay? So that's example 1. Okay, so for the next example, we're going to be looking at a bearish continuation. Okay, so if we look at this, we obviously have this huge push to the downside. We're on the 15-minute time frame. I may just move to the 4-hour real quick just to show you guys how this is looking. Okay, so this is a really good example. Like we said in that, when we looked at the theory of how this system works, we have this 4-hour breakout, and what we expect price to do now after this huge push down, this is a 50-60 pip move. Okay, we expect this new 4-hour to open, create a top wick, and then flip and continue down. And we're trying to catch this move in here. We're trying to catch that back to these levels and potentially continuation. Okay, so let's go down to the lower time frames. We'll go down to the 15-minute, and we can immediately see we had obviously this big push to the downside, pardon me. Okay, so huge push down, and here's a breakout opportunity. Okay, you can potentially take this if it aligns with the higher time frame and clean candles. Okay, you can take this breakout, but let's say, just for the sake of the example, you didn't get this breakout and price continues even further, but you can see that actually worked nicely, and you're not trying to FOMO in here. You're waiting for price to create that pullback because you know that there's a good chance price will create that pullback. Okay, so right here, we've pulled back into this previous resistance. Okay, previous resistance, we've pulled right back into. We have a good opportunity for price to continue down. Okay, but this candle closure is not a good candle closure. Okay, this is rejecting the downside. Okay, this is not a strong probability of price continuing down because we have a very weak bearish candle closure. Okay, then we start seeing, okay, so we have this breakout to the top now. Okay, but we're not going to try and take this breakout because we know the previous 4 hour had this massive pull down, and we can create and flip this top wick at any time. Okay, so this is where the higher time frame really comes into play. Okay, because a lot of traders are going to try and take this big reversal, okay, and they're going to get slapped. Okay, why? Because the 4 hour is on a breakout and it's creating a top wick. Okay, and what do you see? Boom. Okay, so this is a really good trade. You can take this. Okay, you can definitely take this on the break. You have now created support, you've created resistance, okay, and now you've broken below that previous level. Okay, very good chance you're going to respect these highs and price is going to continue down. Okay, so let's see what happens. What do you see? You see a nice bullish closure. This is another one of our setups over here. Okay, so you have extra confluence that price is rejecting that level because it closed outside that level and still rejected it. So this is a very nice closure because you still closed below the level and you're still rejecting it. So you can see we're creating this massive rejection wick to the upside. Price try to push back in, but it's rejecting. Okay, and there you go. Okay, so at this stage you can start thinking, okay, we'll definitely go break even here. Okay, we now closed below the previous resistance. Okay, and what do we know? There's a good chance that we created the pullback, the 4 hour has created its top wick and it's now flipping. Okay, so you can imagine that 4 hour we were looking at, there's the initial breakout. This one is going to have a huge top wick, which is going to be, I nearly just pointed to the screen. We're going to have this level up here, which is going to be our top wick and flip. Now we've broken below, there's a good chance we're going to get a continuation. Okay, so let's say here you close, okay, you push below, there's a good chance price could reject this level. If you wanted to and be really aggressive, you could trail your stops here. Okay, so you can move stops here, but I like to just close partials, right? So close 70%, 80%, whatever you like. You could even close 50% here because it's quite a strong breakout and the higher time frame aligns. Okay, and what do you see? Nice continuation. Okay, so now you can trail your stops or you can close, whatever you like. Okay, this is your opportunity to manage and see what price does. Okay, and that it just did it again, right? So you have the pullback, big pullback. People are trying to get in on this move after a 20 pip move. Okay, average session moves are about 20-25 pips. Okay, you get this big pullback and it happens again. Okay, and there's your continuation, right? So it happens over and over again and it's all connected, right? It's all breakouts, it's all retests on the higher time frame. So if you look at the 4 hour, you can see exactly that. Okay, so you have that breakout. We even have exactly what we had on that 15-minute time frame. Breakout, we have this sort of head tail close, which is this right here, this exact same setup, and then you have the continuation. Okay, we also had that on the 15-minute time frame. Right here, you had that breakout, and then you had that head tail and continuation. Okay, and all you're doing is catching that move down. Okay, breakout, take that, pullback, take that, simple. Okay, watch, it'll happen again. Okay, so yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to ask any questions. Hopefully it wasn't too complicated or too fast, but yeah, very simple price action, trying to understand how all the time frames connect and how you can stop buying into the highs and the lows and be patient and wait for the right opportunities.